If you want effortless results, you have got to find a way to start working from your strengths, from your powers, from your gifts. And this is that fourth point on your compass that, if you have this, can give you direction through almost all things. I'm going to show you how to find that strength. I'm going to show you how to multiply any effort that you make in the entire world for the rest of your professional and personal life. And we are going to, together, avoid the tragedy of not putting your power to use. Before I do that, though, I have to share a story with you. There was once a man who had a hard time. He had a hard life. He ended up splitting up from his wife. They had one daughter. He was typically addicted to things, in and out of rehab, sometimes homeless. Sometimes he had a small place that he could call a home. But through the course of his life, he had broken relationships with his daughter. They were estranged. And his life ended early. When it did, the daughter came to take whatever possessions he had, and she sold them. She had a small auction and made a little bit of money. Very, very little, because the man had almost no possessions. Somebody purchased something from that auction. It was a small painting. That painting ended up being an original from a master artist, and it sold at auction for more than $2 million. Had that man understood the value of what he had, how could it have changed his life? Could it have prolonged it? Certainly, he could have afforded some sort of medical care, maybe even the best rehabs to get him out of his addictions. He probably would have had a nicer house, and some of the shame that separated him from his daughter wouldn't have been there. So his relationships would have been influenced and impacted as well. The reason most of us fail is because we fail to recognize the gifts that we have, and we fail to use those towards what we want. I want, by the end of this, for you to have a clearer idea of what it is that you have to offer that's of value, and how you can use that in exchange to influence all of the areas of your life. I believe that we have 5 multipliers, that when we take these things, we add them to any endeavor that we have, these 5 multipliers will cause it to grow with multiplicity. Are you ready for the 5? Here they go. Time, money, talent, faith, relationships. Time, money, talent, faith, relationships. If you give your time towards something, you have a lot of time towards it, it will grow. If you give no time towards it, right? Maybe not. Your money, if you have money, I've actually heard it said that if you have a problem and you have enough money to pay for someone to solve that problem, you have no problem. So money is a multiplier. Talent, if you take the things that you've learned, the things that you've honed, the things that you've developed, and you point them in a direction with what you're trying to get accomplished, talent is a multiplier. Your faith, your belief, what it is that you truly in your heart believe can be true, is powerful. Seeing a vision of what doesn't quite exist yet, that's a multiplier. And really, one of the most untapped of all multipliers are the friends, people that you know in this world that want to see you succeed. So now that we've gone through the 5 multipliers, let's take a look at what you got. Stop working from your weakness. Stop trying to improve stuff that, improve it, but let's work from what you already got. So tell me, let's talk about it. Take inventory of your assets real quick. Time. You know what you want. You've already laid out your pursuit. What kind of time can you legitimately give towards your pursuit? in a way that doesn't feel like it's robbing from anything else? What kind of time can you invest? Next question. What kind of money are you prepared to invest in the direction of your pursuit? Has to be more than a penny. That's the only requirement. How much money can you invest? Talent. Wow. I know you're a talented individual. If you don't know what your talents are, maybe reach out to a client or several clients, several friends. Ask them what it is that you do better than other people. But if you do know what your talents are, I'm going to ask you to say, what are your unique talents? What are the things that you do in a way that really gives you an unfair advantage? What are your talents? Faith and belief. What do you believe can happen? What do you have the faith for? Be real. Sometimes we get vision shamed into having a vision that's so big that we really don't believe it and feel it. We don't know what $1 million would feel like, but we maybe can imagine what 300,000 feels like. So be real. What do you have the faith to believe for? All right, let's look at that final multiplier. Relationships. You have people who would help you. Maybe you've been afraid to call on them. Maybe you've been ashamed to ask. But there are people who know about what it is that you are looking to accomplish. Who are 3 to 5 people that you could reach out and ask for, at least for advice, if not assistance? Whew. This was deep, and thank you for answering and giving your answers, your feedback. Here's the deal. When you operate from your strengths, when you operate from your power, you have so many options. You have an abundance available to you right here, right now. Most of us don't. We just don't access it. So you have the power right now to create what you want from what you have. I'm glad that you were willing to go deep here and check into what your powers, what your assets are, because it's from that we fight our battles.